Last year, a single mobile game made $3.7 billion. Not from selling a product, not from ads, but from selling something far more powerful: hope.
I have a mental illness. I want to swear.
If you've ever played a gacha game, you already know that feeling, the anticipation before a pull, the rush when you see that golden animation, the crushing disappointment when you fail.
No fucking way, dude. There's just no fucking shot.
But what you might not know is that every single one of these emotions was carefully engineered to keep you coming back.
It actually pisses me off.
I've spent 6 months analyzing the psychological warfare of gacha games. I've interviewed players, studied developer conferences, and even tracked my own behavior. What I discovered was disturbing. These aren't just games. They're sophisticated psychological traps designed by some of the best minds in behavioral science. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how they work. Gacha games exploit 3 fundamental human psychological needs: the need for completion, the fear of missing out, and the pain of loss. Here's where it gets interesting. They don't just target one at a time. They hit all 3 simultaneously, creating what psychologists call a perfect storm of engagement. Look at this currency system from Genshin Impact: Genesis Crystals, Primo Gems, Intertwined Fate, Acquaint Fate, Star Glitter, Stardust. Now, quick, if something costs 160 Primo Gems and you have 1600, how many can you buy? Your brain just stumbled, didn't it? That's not an accident. Let me show you these quotes from a game developer conference. The more steps between real money and in-game purchases, the less players think about actual cost. Every gacha game targets 4 distinct types of players. Understanding which one you are is crucial to protecting yourself. The killers. These players want to win at any cost. They'll spend to stay competitive. The achievers. Completionists who need to collect everything. They're the most vulnerable to becoming whales. The socializers. They play for community. They spend to keep up with friends. The explorers. Content enthusiasts who love discovering new things. They're targeted through FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. Here's something fascinating. Every gacha game starts incredibly generous, free pulls, lots of premium currency, guaranteed rare characters. But there's a sinister reason for this generosity. This is reflected in a quote from a developer conference. The first spend is the hardest. Once players break that barrier, they're 10 times more likely to spend again. This is why starter packs are always the best value. They're not trying to make money on your first purchase. They're trying to break your resistance to spend. Here's how this progression works. Each step feels seamless and logical, but here's the unsettling truth. Internal data reveals that after a player makes their second purchase, there's an 80% likelihood they'll become a regular spender. This isn't by chance. It's meticulously designed using a psychological principle called anchoring, which causes the brain to normalize spending based on prior purchases. Let me reveal the most potent tool in the gacha playbook, so impactful that some countries have begun banning it altogether. Remember that psychological technique I mentioned? It's called variable rate reinforcement. It's the same principle that makes slot machines so addictive. But gacha games take it a step further, adding an even more powerful twist. Notice something about these videos. They all show winning pools. One developer told me something chilling. Do not let players know that most people lose. That kills monetization. Let me show you how this works in practice. Players share lucky pools. Games reward sharing wins. Losses stay private. Creates false perception of odds. The reality? Less than 1% of players get what they want within their first 10 pools. But you'll never see those videos trending. Here's where gacha games differ from traditional gambling. They make you fall in love with what you're gambling for. They don't just sell characters. They sell emotional backstories, character relationships, voice actor performances, future potential. One player told me, I spent $400 on Red and Shogun, not because she was powerful, but because her story made me cry. What a guy, am I right? Anyways, look at this event schedule from any major gacha game. Limited character banners, seasonal events, collaboration events, time-limited rewards, every single one designed to trigger what psychologists call anticipated regret. Your brain isn't afraid of missing out, it's afraid of regretting missing out. This developer conference quote fits perfectly, no? Limited time events should create urgency without appearing predatory. Now, here's something fascinating. Pity systems, which guarantee a rare pool after X attempts, actually increase spending. Why? Because they transform gambling into a progress bar. Just 20 more pools to guarantee, only $50 more to reach pity. It's genius, really. They've turned failure into progress. Let me show you the most dangerous psychological trap of all, the sunk cost fallacy. I've already spent $200. I can't quit now. I'm only 40 pulls away from guarantee. My account is worth thousands. This is why Gacha Games track everything. Days logged in, characters collected, resources earned, money spent. Each number becomes a chain holding you to the game. Gacha games aren't just games, they're social networks. They create guild responsibilities, friend systems, co-op requirements, community events. Miss a day, you're letting your guild down. Skip an event, your friends are waiting. This social pressure is worth more than any marketing campaign. Here's how they keep long-term players spending. Release powerful character, players invest heavily. Release counter character, original character becomes less valuable. Repeat. It's a never-ending cycle of making things outdated on purpose. Let's talk brain chemistry. Every time you log in, complete daily tasks, open free polls, reach PT, you get some kind of reward. Your brain releases dopamine. But here's the trick. The rewards are carefully timed to prevent satisfaction. You're always one day away from something big, but there's hope. I'll show you how to protect yourself from these mechanics and why the future of gaming might depend on it. Before I show you how to protect yourself, let me share something disturbing. This is from a game developer's presentation titled, "Let's Go Whaling." Make sure your games aren't too skill-based. Skill-based games don't make money because players have no reason to pay. This isn't just about mobile games anymore. Look at what's happening. AAA games adding gacha mechanics, battle passes in every game, limited time cosmetics, random loot boxes. Look at this timeline. The scariest part, it's working. Gacha games make more money than traditional gaming, movies, and music combined. Now, here's how to protect yourself. I've developed a system called TRAP. Monitor every penny you spend. Reflect and ask yourself before every pull. Do I need this? Will I care in a month? Am I pulling out of FOMO? Analyze and understand your player type. Alternatively, set strict boundaries on monthly spending limits, daily time limits, no credit card saving. Imagine how much you are spending and what you have gotten. Now imagine what else you could do with that money. Vacation, investment returns, real-life experiences, or buy your mother a gift. These are important considerations. Here's what game developers don't want you to know. Most whales regret spending. An anonymous developer quoted, "Our data shows 82% of high spenders experience buyer's remorse. Games are designed to never satisfy. Players should always feel one purchase away from completion. Rates are manipulated. Dynamic odds adjustment based on spending patterns. Your data is being used against you. Player behavior tracking to optimize monetization." But there's hope. Countries are starting to regulate. Different countries have taken steps to address the impact of gacha games. In Japan, companies are required to disclose the odds of winning items. The Netherlands has outright banned certain gacha mechanics. China has introduced daily spending limits to protect players. Belgium has classified gacha games as a form of gambling. Another positive is that players are getting smarter. Free-to-play communities are growing, spending tracking apps have become available, more support groups, and alternative gaming movements. Here's what I want you to try. Take a 7-day break from playing gacha games to reset your habits. Track your purchases for 1 month to see how much you're actually spending. Write down your reasons for pulling so you can better understand your motivations. If this video opened your eyes, share it. The gaming industry is changing and not for the better. We need to start this conversation. Drop a comment with your gacha experience, how much you spent, what made you realize it was a problem. Remember, these games are designed to be addictive. There's no shame in being caught in their trap. The shame would be knowing the trap exists and not helping others avoid it.